Welcome to a game between Bakuhatsu here in blue, starting Anthbots, and here we have GoogleFrog in red, starting with Shieldbots. It looks like GoogleFrog goes for a support commander, while Bakuhatsu goes for a recon commander. It looks like Bakuhatsu is gonna go for a more economic start with a conch as a starting unit, followed up by ducks. Bakuhatsu sent in the spray play and he wondered about this matchup against Shieldbots. It looks like, GoogleFrog is gonna go for a more offensive start and make some 3 bandits. Ducks and bandits are pretty evenly matched, so neither really has an edge in combat, in radar combat. So this is gonna be the first engagement, while Bakuhatsu is expanding behind all this. Bakuhatsu is quite far ahead in expansion actually. GoogleFrog is playing it really safe, making 2 Lotus turrets. So yeah, considering Bakuhatsu made an economic start, that's basically a really bad start for GoogleFrog. GoogleFrog made 3 ducks and then he also made 2 Lotus turrets on top of that. And he is stalling his economy badly as well. While Bakuhatsu on the other hand is expanding. He doesn't have his conch on high priority. I think Bakuhatsu should have it on high priority. Because you want to get those mexes built fast. Although he needs some ducks to defend against these bandits. So 4 bandits against 4 ducks should be a pretty even fight. Wow, and GoogleFrog is going into rogues this early? That's such a weird choice. Like, rogues this early are just likely to get run down by ducks. And it looks like Bakuhatsu is gonna switch into archers. Archers are pretty decent against shield walls. They can kill bandits fairly well, and they also punch through shields somewhat. I think they can damage the thugs underneath shields. It looks like Bakuhatsu is gonna try to be a bit sneaky here. Yeah, there is space to move in between here and maybe get the mechs, although there is another turret down here. Yeah, this is an interesting push. 5 bandits in a row. Can he put it? Yeah, he can put his duck out of the way there. That should be 1 dead mech. Oh, he has barely moves in range again. If he positioned it here, he would have killed the mechs without losing the duck. And maybe even been able to go down here. But that was not to be. And that's an early snitch by GoogleFrog as well. It's outside radar, so that's good. That means Bakuhatsu probably has no idea it's there. So GoogleFrog is looking to play some mind games. And it looks like he's finally gonna apply some pressure with his rogue. And killing a mech, it would be something, but he barely just don't kill it, so yeah. Some damage against the ducks. Yeah, Bakuhatsu is getting a pretty good economic lead here, early game. Because GoogleFrog's start was rather defensive. And yeah, that roach paid off, killing 3 ducks. That's not bad. Not a huge deal, but yeah. Yeah, if Bakuhatsu would be paying attention, he could potentially run under the shield. Although the Lotuser would probably still finish. But yeah, he runs under the shields and the convict is moving out in the way again. to so yeah, the duck convict saves it for a bit. Still decent micro by GoogleFrog. Oh, and this expansion is kind of open. Oh, that's not nice. Don't shoot your friends, Archer. So, and he seems to be losing his archers unnecessarily down there. That's not too good. And yeah, he needs to pay some attention. Loses one duck. So he's making bulkheads. He wondered about bulkheads in this match. Personally, I would say that rows counter them pretty well, considering bulkheads don't have much range advantage over rogues. So the rogues can just go in, send a few shots off, and then retreat. Although making a bulkhead to push defense like this, yeah, it's a good idea. Although potentially this rogue could counter it, but the projectiles of the rogue is almost as slow, so you can even dodge it. Oh, he's losing some archers there against the felon. That's not too good, and I should have the attrition widget on. It's good to have the attrition widget on, so you can see the comparable traits in real time. I prefer to play with it without it myself. So yeah, Bakuhatsu wasn't paying that much attention, so this propellant has almost paid off by now. It's kind of bad. We can see here that the archer is not, it doesn't quite have enough range to punch through the shields. And he loses another archer, so yeah. It looks like Bakuhatsu is throwing away his early income advantage by losing a bunch of units here. Yeah, he lost twice the value now to this felon. Yeah, the felon is doing a lot of work. Against a felon, would a bulkhead be good? It's like, yeah, felon can't really... The bulkheads will poke at the felon from distance, and then it can also take a lot of it. So I guess the bulkheads are pretty good against felons and thugs potentially. Well, thugs, yeah, kind of even. So really, yeah, pushing felons and thugs with bulkheads seems like a decent idea. Although I would still, rogues kind of counter them pretty well. And here we have a friendly standoff between this conch and this convicts. No one wanna make defense yet. Like this convict could go in and try to build some more defense in range of this Lotus turret. But yeah, Bakuhatsu is gonna respond by making some defense of his own. And yeah, it looks like GoogleFrog has been a lot of thugs, but his felon died, so he's waiting for the next felon. Yeah, so at this point as amp bots, like boy, they are decent as well. They have about the same range as felons, so and they can tank quite a bit. Of course, maybe actually bulkheads would be even better. They're cheaper than boys, they have more HP than boys, and they're gonna poke that shield up from afar. Yeah, the problem will be to keep the shield ball going back and forth. Yeah, an advanced radar. What? Why? That's weird. The advanced radar. Yeah. So yeah, this is probably too few bulkheads to engage. This is yeah, big shield ball. If you had a similar value and you're ready to follow up with ducks, could work, I guess. Still kind of risky, I'd say. Also, when the shield ball is this exposed, having one or two limpets ready just... the limpets are really good, having one or two limpets ready to go in if the units are overexposed, or even when the Felon is drained, you can go in with the Limpet, because the Limpet has a fair bit of health. If the Felon is drained, you can probably run in and get a good stun off. That means you can just finish off the shield ball so much more easily. So let's see how this engagement goes. You don't want to let the shield ball player retreat from this position, and that's just what you let him do. So I guess that can become the tricky part of using bulkheads against a shield ball, is not allowing the shield ball player to retreat. But you want the shield ball to be completely drained and then go in. But like, imagine having a limpet there, one or two limpets running in would help you finish off this shield ball. You could probably have finished it off. And yeah. Like, if the Felon isn't at the front line, yeah, or you're gonna do pretty good work against the shield ball. So yeah. Running into a Faraday can be risky. I guess you choose to retreat again. Luckily the Snitch wasn't paying attention, might have been able to finish off this little ball. And this, yeah, now your units are out of position and the Felon can just go in and shoot some stuff and then retreat. I guess boys are kinda better. They just barely outrange the Felon, but they shoot at other units and they're gonna drain the shields of the Felon and the other units. That's a decent hit by GoogleFrog, a decent snitch. So do you have radar? Yeah, you have your commander there and radar. Yeah, you should be able to, like, yeah, if you see them, a unit disappearing, a shield bot unit, yeah, you should expect it to probably be a roach. Like, if a single unit runs up to the front and disappears, it's probably a roach. There's no other unit that can really disappear like that. So yeah, GoogleFrog is managing this well. He's like going in and retreating, and your units are just about out of position. So yeah, the bulkhead. Like, for example, imagine you're having like 3 bulkheads here. Nothing, it outranges all of this. And you have it here in range of the stingers. If there comes rogues or if there comes the shield ball, you retreat to the shoal and you have the flanking opportunity. So it's really a big mistake that you're not trying to push this expansion that's so close to these thingers with some of your own bulkheads. Like, yeah, pushing this position is something you should do. Because, yeah, it's basically something it's free, like the enemy can't do much about it. They could potentially build a stinger, but yeah, potentially you could even kill the stinger with like 5 bulkheads, then yeah, you're good. And you can see here that, yeah, boys do pretty well as well. Maybe they're the preferable choice if you want to counter a shield ball, because they still have a lot of HP and they can kind of kite the Felon even, and the thugs as well. Looks like, yeah, well, there's another Felon coming. So yeah, this is a point where you ask yourself, should I retreat these bulkheads before the shield ball comes? Or should I try to crush it between my 2 armies? And you didn't withdraw it. You're gonna lose a lot of units down there, while keeping the enemy kinda at bay. You can see the Faraday doing real good work here. Since the latest, like, shields were recently changed, so if they get stunned, they lose all their shield value. And that's really bad for shields. So yeah, 2 Faradays, you asked about that in the forum thread. 2 Faradays are pretty scary for a shield ball. Like, they punch through the shield, the area effect punches through the shield, and if they go down, yeah, even the units with full health shields behind the frontline units, they're gonna get drained completely from the shield. So yeah, 2 Faradays are pretty scary. And at this point, yeah, you can see how fast you're draining the shield ball when it's just trying to engage 2 stingers and your boys here. And yeah, you killed some units there. If you had some better follow-up and was a bit ahead of it, you could have run in with your boys, or maybe even the ducks there. But now you also, since you lost this army without really doing anything to this shield ball, yeah, now you have another army to contend with. And the Grizzly switch, yeah, it's a question. Like, a Grizzly won't punch through the shields of these units alone. It would need some help to actually punch through the shields. like a Thunderbird is a decent choice. Against like, yeah, you can see how effective this is. Now you don't have any follow-up, so yeah, it doesn't do much. The problem is when there's two Felons, it's really hard to actually get a good Thunderbird on them. But one Felon, yeah, you can Thunderbird one Felon. So, yeah. Oh, damn, that attrition value. You have been losing 5,000 more value than Frog. And now that there's no boys, the boys are out of positions, yeah, the shield ball can just move in and, yeah, kill off this expansion quickly. Yeah. GoogleFrog is really managing to beat you piecemeal. That's another reason why you want to have the initiative against the shield bots. If you have the initiative, they can't do this back and forth all the time. Like, look at this Felon, you almost had it, but then you decided to retreat because he was afraid of sun damage. But yeah, this Felon would have been dead if he has pushed in, because yeah, you can tank that damage with boys pretty much, and then you slow it and you drain the shields, and yeah, you prevent the Felon from recharging while you're shooting at it. So these are all things that are like, yeah, considerations. It requires that you're like, that you know that you can beat the shield ball. And this is a pretty good split by GoogleFrog. He almost even destroys the Thunderbird, so yeah. And that's gonna keep this this shield ball pretty healthy. Gonna keep the shield up on many units. And you don't have any follow-up either. Like, even if you get a good Thunderbird here, you're not gonna do much because you don't have a good follow-up. So you can argue that Thunderbird is helping a bit in the sense that GoogleFrog is a bit more afraid of overcommitting. But I think a limpet, like using a few limpets when the shield ball is low, or when the like in this position when the thugs are exposed, it has similar results, and you don't need to make it factory. Like if you run in a limpet in this direction, you're gonna slow all of these down. You're not gonna drain the shields, but yeah, they're gonna be slow, and then you can like choose to like finish them off, and they're gonna be left behind and stuff like that. Now this shield wall is just huge. Yeah, and two Felons, it's really hard to use a Thunderbird against that. Meanwhile, you have this little contingency, and that's good, I guess. And yeah, you can see here some of the shields are getting drained while they're trying to catch up to these boys. Meanwhile, yeah, this shield wall is really big, but they're also getting. See how effective boys are at kiting a shield wall. Like when the Felons get left behind, yeah, the boys have a field day. They're just gonna keep draining those shields. Meanwhile, you're a bit unfocused here, I guess. Like you could probably have finished off that stinger if you targeted it. It's a thing, like you can micro Grizzly a lot. You can turn to hold fire and then choose to attack the stinger, so it only shoots the stingers first, and then you kill the stinger. Yeah. Yeah, but you see, yeah, the Grizzly is doing pretty well at draining it here, so Grizzly and Boys is a late key combo that's also hard for the shield boss to counter. Yeah, and the Thunder wasn't that good. This must be the end of your base, I think. Yeah, but you see the boys are still doing pretty well. Are they? Oh, they almost got a Felon there. I guess Racketeers, they're decent against long Grizzlies. But it's like, it can be, I don't know, it's like, if the enemy really gets those disarms down, then your Grizzlies can become useless, and especially if they're alone, they're gonna die. But if you have boys with them, yeah, it's not that much of a problem, I think. Yeah, you manage to claw your attrition back a bit, but it's still really bad. This shield wall, it can just sandwich this Grizzle now, so yeah. So if we look at total value, yeah, you're pretty far behind here. If we look at metal produced, yeah, you were ahead like all the game, but now you're falling behind because you have lost so much value. So, yeah. Some more questions you asked is, yeah, like, is Pork worth building against shield walls? And it depends, I'd say. The thing is, they have good tools for dealing with light defense, and they have, yeah, pretty good tools for dealing with heavier defense, like Stinger as well. The thing is, if you run forward and take map control, it can be hard to get enough DPS to prevent the enemy from advancing. So it depends on the situation, I guess. Like, for example, Rogue is really good. It can kill Lotus Turret, it outranges them, so it can kill them for free. So, and Rogues are pretty good in general against defense, so it's something. Oh, you have made limpets. Let's see how good they do. Like, the Felons are pretty far back here. You have a good angle going in here. So yeah, these thugs are really far in front. I want to see how these limpets do. Like, this is a good angle. What are you waiting for? And there they go. Are you gonna throw them in the air? No. No, no. I mean, you managed to slow them all, but I don't see what... The thing is, if you throw them, the Felons are gonna have an even easier time to destroy them, because they're up in the air, and the Felons can just pick them out with ease. But if you're running in from an angle like this, yeah, all these thugs are gonna block it. Yeah, basically. Like, trying to imagine trying to shoot through this, yeah. The Felons can get them now, so yeah. In most cases, if there's Felons, I would definitely recommend just trying to run in at the shield wall from an angle where the Felon isn't protecting them. You might even be able to, like, reach the foot of the Felon before it actually can get line of fire to the limpets if you do it that way. So yeah, if the enemy has Felons, try to run in from an angle where the limpet is blocked by other, like, thugs, and you will get much better results. But still, you saw how you slowed down that shield ball, even though you threw them in, and they died. Most of them died in the air. Like, imagine if the shield ball is completely drained, and you just have some ducks, and you're pushing them with boys, and you're just moving into finishing off. That's a great usage of the limpet against shield balls. Yeah. Indeed. So, yeah. So really, in this game, you were losing out to, what would you say? You were losing out on attrition early. So it's something to consider. So yeah, like, GoogleFrog had initiative the whole game, and he managed to outmaneuver you and attack you where your army was not. So yeah. And then you also kind of reacted slowly. Like, I remember specifically losing like this army, where GoogleFrog had like half his shield ball here, and then you chose to send your boys up here, and then the shield ball can just go in and destroy this ball for free, and that's really good value for GoogleFrog. So more on like pork, yeah, like the thing I wouldn't really recommend bulkhead. Maybe against a shield ball, bulkhead could work. Like if you're pushing, if you have like frontline stingers, like you had frontline stingers here, and you just start pushing out with bulkheads. Yeah, GoogleFrog can die that, and you can start advancing maybe. So I mean, it's the kind of thing. If you can prevent him from retreating, maybe, yeah, boy is just a better choice in most circumstances. But boy, on the other hand, like, is also kind of countered by rogue. Although GoogleFrog didn't make a lot of rogues this game, so. And boys can also like, they can dodge the shots of the rogues decently, so it becomes a micro battle where you try to drain the shield balls and avoid rogue shots, but I would still say that the boys are pretty good. And then getting out a heavy unit like Grizzly in combination with your boys is really good, because yeah, the Grizzly is going to be able to drain the Felons from range or kill the rogues from range. And then you also, even if the Racketeers, they're gonna get distracted, and even if they disarm the Grizzly, they're still gonna be the boys to like do damage and drain the shield. So yeah, those are my general tips for you. Good luck and have fun.